Welcome. This video is about Microsoft Access SQL, structured query language. When do you use equals in the where clause of a query? When do you use like? What is the difference? Firstly, I want to talk about operators and operands. Both equals and like are operators. Both equals and like process values given to them and return either a value of true or a value of false, that is, Boolean values. When a variable can only take on one of two values, true or false, or yes or no, it is often described as Boolean. Both the equals operator and the like operator are sometimes referred to as comparison operators. Both the equals operator and the like operator process two values that are given to them by comparing them. As a result of the comparison, one Boolean result, a Boolean result, is returned or produced. But let me explain this further by using equals, the equals operator, as an example. Like all operators, the equals operator processes or performs an operation on the values it is given. The equals operator is given two values to work with. Typically, these values are placed either side of the operator, one to the left and one to the right of the equal sign. These values, in this case the values are 7 and 3, are often referred to as operands. The equals operator compares the operator on the left, well, it compares the operand on the left with the operand on the right. So it compares 7 and 3. If they are the same in value, the equals operator returns a value of true. They are not the same value, the equals operator returns a false. In this case, the value of false is returned. The operator like works in the same way. Now, when to use equals in the where clause? Well, consider the table to the left named table subjects. Suppose we want a query that shows some of the records in table subjects. It only displays the records we want to see, not all of them. If that is the case, then we require a query that will limit the number of records we see from the table. We require a query that will impose restrictions and act like a filter. The where clause is applied when we only need to see some of the records in a table. When the following query is run, we see all the records from table subjects. Now, in the select clause there, I've listed all 4 fields from the table that we want to see. So in the select clause, you include the fields you wish to see. And the fields are separated by commas. In this case, I've included all 4 fields from the table. In the from clause, we define the source. We describe where these fields can be found. We describe the table that contains these fields, the fields that we want to see. So when that query is run, that's what we see, all the records from the table. When we include an equation using an equals operator in the where clause, we are asking for output that is very specific. So I've included an equation in the where clause of the query. So now we only want to see records where the value of subject is exactly maths. We want to see records where the equation subject equals maths returns a value of true. So when I run that query, including the equation in the where clause, we see this as the output. So as expected, when the query with the restriction in the where clause is run, we see fewer records. When to use like in the where clause? Well, as was the case before, when the following query is run, we see all the records from table subjects. When we include like in the where clause, we need to apply it in a very specific way. As was the case with equals, the like operator has two operands on either side, one on the left and one on the right. And as was the case with equals, the like operator will return a value of true or a value of false. We shouldn't include an equal sign with like. We should use wildcards with like. The operand or expression to the right of like should include wildcards. In this case, we are using the asterisk wildcard. The expression to the right of like, that operand, should be contained within quotation marks. The asterisk wildcard can represent any character, any number of characters, or no character at all. The asterisk can literally represent anything. Notice the expression has an asterisk to the left and an asterisk to the right of the character S. This means that there can be any number of characters and any type of characters in front of the S. But also, this means that there can be any number of characters and any type of characters behind the S. For the queries shown below, we only wish to see the records from table subjects where the value produced by subject like in the quotes asterisk S asterisk returns a value of true. So that expression shown in blue will produce a value of true only when the value or text in subject field contains the character S. The character S can be positioned anywhere within the subject. When the following query is run, we see the following output. As shown before with the equation containing the equal sign, a restriction or filter has been applied. This means fewer records are displayed by the output of the query. Biology does not include the character S, so records for which subject is biology will not be shown. The subject values maths and English contain the character S, hence only records where the subject is maths or where the subject is English will be shown. Thanks for viewing.